there, YouTube. I'm sure this is a really bad idea. But I decided, fog and all, that I would take my month-and-a-half-old, absolutely without a spot on it, Street Glide for a ride. I think I drove it to work once, and that was the only time that was the last time I drove it. I don't even remember when that was. It's been over a week. Yeah, today's Thursday the 8th. Yeah, October the 8th. So, yeah, it's been over a week since I've ridden this thing. So, Graham Calvert, buddy, this one's for you. If this thing gets dirty, I was thinking of you. He was talking about in his video, you know, his latest video. He may have come out with another one last night or this morning. Hell, I haven't looked. But anyway, he's talking about his Suzuki Spike that he calls. Talking about, you know, that new finally wears off of him, and you go, what the hell? Let's just ride it. Well, I haven't quite got to that point on the Street Glide yet. So, I want everything to look perfectly new all the time, you know. But we go through them phases when we buy new bikes. We spend a lot of money on these things, you know. It's hard not to just take the ultimate care of them. I don't know where that drip of water came from. It's just fog clouds out there. But before I get here, the U.S. Postal Service here, and I'm sure this doesn't, you know, reflect all of the states, but it definitely, this little town of Toledo, whenever, and I do mean I've been here in this location for 8 years now, anytime there's a package that will not fit into my mailbox, they will not drive, and they're supposed to, they will not drive the 600 yards down that gravel road to my house. They throw one of those little pink slips in there saying that they couldn't drop it off, and the reason they ride across there is dogs. Now, how they know there's dogs down there is absolutely a mystery to me, because they have never driven down there. Not once in 8 years have they ever driven down my road. But it's always the same thing, it's dogs. But if you download I'm sure it's available for Android, but I know for Apple, the USPS app, you can track your package. And according to them, it says receptacle was full. The package could not be delivered. Doesn't say anything about dogs. It says my box was full and they couldn't leave it. So anytime I cringe, anytime something comes USPS, and I have no control over how Amazon sends stuff. So today's Thursday the 8th. I did the review on my iPhone on Monday. My case was supposed to be there on Tuesday. Here it's Thursday, and I'm having to go to the Postal Service because they are lazy and they lie. Because Kelly was there all day long, and around the time zone that the mail lady comes, and she comes the same time every day without fail. She had all the dogs in the house, because I told her, you know, I said, keep an eye on the dogs. I said that, you know, we always get this thing. She goes, you know they're not coming down here. So yeah, I know, but I want to prove it this time. So she was there, and she had the front door open all day. So anytime a car comes down our road, you absolutely can hear it. You know, and the dogs all perk up. Every time something came down the road, she got up, looked out for the mail lady. It was only our neighbors that come up and down. Some of our neighbors just go up and down the road all day long. It's like, make a grocery list or whatever it is and do it all in one shot. Why do you keep coming and going and coming and going and coming and going? It blows me away. You think it was a freeway out there sometimes, and it's two people. But anyway, I'm going to go in there. I'll talk to you here in a minute. So I said my little piece, and you know, I got the typical, well, you know, and she wanted me to confront the, you know, it's this little small town thing. So, you know, the lady that drops it off is actually back there sorting her own mail for the day, you know. Wanted me to confront her, you know, and I'm like, no, I don't, you know, want to have a he said, she said thing. So I'm just telling you, in 8 years, you've never, whoever the carrier is, Kathy said her name was, she goes, would you want to talk to Kathy? I'm not the one that does the route, so I don't know, you know. No, I don't, I'm just telling you, you know, this is very irritating. I said, I know they're going to make a 1 iota of difference. None. I mean, they're just going to do what they're going to do. You're at the mercy of this federal mail system here. In a little town of 600 people, you're not even going to, you know, make a beacon on the radar, you know, if you were to call the U.S. Postal Service. I mean, really, it's not going to do you any good. It's just irritating. I could see her driving down there and seeing the dogs and being afraid of the dogs. You know, because sometimes the pit bull's out there and he's this big human head looking freak show. He is a scary looking dog. And as pit bulls can, you know, he can, if he doesn't recognize who you are. But anyway, they know, for some reason they know the mail. I don't know if they smell the packages or whatever. They're just so used to you know, FedEx and everybody showing up there, they just know. Maybe it's people in uniform, because, you know, like the police were over there the other day. I don't know when I'll put this thing up, but there was a crazy manhunt out in the forest and around my property near a week or two or whatever the hell that was ago. Some crazy ass shit, actually. But anyway, the dogs, maybe it's people in uniform, or I don't know. Dogs have a way of sensing, you know. Carriers and stuff deal with dogs all the time, you know. So I think it's that dogs have, you know, humans can be that way too. You know, people have a pretty good bullshit detector, you know. And someone up to malicious intent just don't have that calm manner. The dogs sense that something's not right, you know. And I think carriers, police officers apparently, because it was a canine unit as well, don't see these dogs as a threat whatsoever. And I think the dogs realize that, so they're a little less, you know, wound up, or get a little less excited, you know. But anyway, it's like the FedEx and the UPS guy, they come there so often, they actually throw treats out to the dogs. Almost got shotgun blasted in the face with a handful of doggy treats because he didn't see me walking up on his truck. I'm like, and this was the first time I knew they were doing that. It was actually last year when I had to do the same thing last year. I had to take the day off to sign for the iPhone because Kelly couldn't be there, or, you know, they're kind of on a skeleton crew where she works, so if it's one of her days, she can't take the day off. You know, it's wintertime. It's not the end of the world for me to take the day off, unless I got something scheduled, you know, and because a lot of times, like spider people or whatever come from out of town and wait, you know, then whatever the deal is, it's too bad on me. I gotta, you know, customer first. But anyway, the first time I seen this, Abby, who's the very excitable one of the sisters, she's sitting there all prissy, sitting right at the door, like welcoming this guy to come stepping out of the truck. And I'm like, what the hell? So I don't know how he didn't hear me. He must have been back there pulling the package or whatever. But I come up and I'm saying something to Abby, you know, get the hell away from this guy's truck. And all of a sudden, woof, this handful of dog treats comes flying out of there. I'm like, God damn, hold on. But that was funny. But anyway, the dogs would not be of any threat to this mail carrier. And I think I've heard this name before, so I think this gal's probably been running that route for many years now. And I think what it is, because from our mailbox, when anytime a car slows down, or because they have to drive off to the side of the road and they hit the little gravel, to get up to the mailbox, the dogs hear that, and they sense when a car slows down, because there's no other road around us, so they know the sound if somebody's slowing down on our road, so it alerts them, and they'll walk out the end of our driveway and step out into the gravel road and see who's coming. So they're alerted long before you even start down the road. And then they know the sounds of delivery trucks. They know the sounds of the cars of our neighbors. They're so attuned to that sound that every once in a while I'll ride a customer's unit home. Well, it's not the sound of the Spider motorcycles that I ride. And like when I drove this thing up the first time, same thing. It freaks them out. They come flying down there, and they, as long as you don't do anything, they just kind of run around you and corral. But man, you do anything aggressive, I don't even want to know. But anyway, and there's no sense of fear. Dogs sense fear, and it's over at that point. I don't know why I'm rattling this thing on forever. It's just that lady could very safely come down there, and Kelly was there. She'd have heard and seen her coming down the road and went out and met her, but it didn't matter anyway. The dogs were inside. When it's even though it was rainy out, the temperature was nice, so Kelly had the front door open all day, so the dogs just kind of come and go like it's their damn doghouse or something. But if Kelly's, sitting around or doing stuff in the kitchen or just doing house stuff, the dogs all hang out with her, So, but during the time that the mail lady comes, the dogs were all inside. She was sitting down. She was taking a break and watching some series or something she was casting off of her iPad, or actually she was using the Nexus 7 yesterday. That was pretty cool. It's weird for someone that's very non-Android. Not that she has any hate towards them at all. She actually enjoys that Nexus. She's like me. She likes the pure Android experience. All these phones with all their... Why the manufacturers just make a nice product and just leave it as raw as you can. Which Samsung learned the lesson with that and did that this year with the S6 line and the Note. It's very minimalistic with TouchWiz. I mean, it'd be way better yet if they just took it out. What do we got going here? We got something flashing coming up the road. Looks like it's more of a utility vehicle than an emergency. It's our fiber optics guys. I wonder if everybody out here has got their fiber optics turned on. I think when I call and ask about it, it needed to be, for the most part, set up before they would turn it on. It took a lot longer than they predicted. When they plumbed it to my house, they said it should be, 1 to 3 months, and that just seemed like the end of time for me at that point. It took way longer than I actually completely forgot about it. The IT guys at work's probably got to wonder why there's not this 4 to 8 gigabyte upload every morning. Why that suddenly stopped. I know they knew it was me. Well, I'm using their laptop that's supplied to me at work. I don't take it home or anything, but it's a nice powerful Dell laptop, and I never even put any editing software or anything on it. It's strictly a work computer, but I'd put my videos on a thumb drive and upload them at work because, geez, just for an example, a 4 gigabyte video would it'd take 8 to 10 hours to upload. And man, if that thing's like 5 or 6, you know, and usually something would happen by that time, and you'd get some notice that, you know, the connection was lost or whatever, because we were DSL, and it was supposed to be a 1 megabit upload and 5 megabit download, but the fastest I ever seen it was like 700 kilobits upload, and I guess I've seen it 5 download a few times, but usually it was about 3.5. You know, I had people going, oh well, we can't Google Hangout and we can't FaceTime, and well, let me know when you get faster internet. And I'm like, what? I like do this all the time. Just because I haven't done it with you. I know they say high speed required, but trust me, it worked great. In fact, I always use my iPad to do it. The very last one I done, which I don't know why these things, I was, you know, that new fad there for a while, the Google Hangouts, but they're still going on, but they always seem to, it seems to be done a lot more in the UK than it is here, so the timing's all skewed for me because of our, you know, time difference. And shit, I'm right in the middle of work or something. It's hard for me to do. But irregardless, the last time I did it, somebody's calling me. That's not a number I recognize. And for some reason, my left speaker quit working again. That's so irritating. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. You know, you just get that feeling that even though he's looking at you, he don't see you. But it was all cool. I'd have stopped in time. He finally seen me. But those are the ones that, you know, like if you're speeding through here or something like that, you know, like on a crotch rocket, you'd be coming through here 90 miles an hour. You're in a bad situation. Because by the time he does see you, it's when you're hitting him. If he even sees you by then, they'll just hear a bang. You're dead, and he's got a dented up truck. But anyway, I can rattle on about 15 subjects that probably mean absolutely nothing to you. I don't know why I state the obvious. Any of you guys that watch me know my MO. And that used to be one of my little pet peeves. I'd watch and go, man, I'm all over the place on this thing. I can't upload this thing. Kelly goes, that's the way you are anyway. Just do it. But it's even worse yet when I'm motovlogging, because I don't know, something about riding a motorcycle, you're paying too much attention. So I did a little test car vlog yesterday, and wow, I have no idea that I'm panning and, oh, look at that mud. It's them damn gravel trucks coming out of there. That is not good. Look at that, the streak of mud continues. Look at that though, we got some dry road now. But anyway, it's crazy. Watching my eyes, I'm like, Jesus, what are you looking at? I had no idea that I'm that active visually going down the road. Kind of freaked myself out. I guess that's a good thing. It looks kind of weird though. I'm all over the place in the mirrors and all around, and I guess I tell you guys, pay attention. I guess I was doing that. I didn't realize I did it like that. I look like I'm waiting for the attack, kind of a thing. And I guess when you drive down the road, for the most part, that's kind of what you're doing. You know, when you own a motorcycle, you got a whole nother set of things you need to look at. You know, the obstacles in the road, any signs that fluid is spilled, you know, diesel. Speaking of Graham Calvert, he hit some diesel yesterday. Oh, buddy, I know that feeling. Holy moly. That is one, I mean, you definitely have a mohawk in your shape in your seat when you're done with that one. Look back there, make sure you didn't leave any teeth marks behind, you know. I hate that feeling when it just absolutely comes. I've been lucky most of the time, as I've smelt it actually before I've seen it. But you know, usually by the time you smell it, it puts you on alert and you're in it. So it's kind of, it wasn't any kind of a, you know, a warning. It was just like, I smelled it. Whoa, whoa! That is a scary feeling. That is the feeling of riding on a sheet of ice. And how the hell you ever survive anything like that is crazy. I think I've probably told you this story before, but I'll roll this one out. I may not have told you, but in 87, 88, we had this car dealer. I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I fog up right away. We'll just try this out with the shield down. But we had this car dealer down the road. It's called Gladstone Honda, and they took in an '83 CB650 SC Nighthawk, and they wanted us to, you know, they don't sell motorcycles, so they took it in on trade. And it's like our, you know, we're part of a huge auto group, and our car dealers will pick up bikes, and then they'll just, you know, sell them to us. And they basically sell them for what they took them in on. It's not, you know, a for-profit sale. They just want to get rid of them. They don't want to deal with them. So that's how I ended up with the Road King. That was one of those 4 2002 bikes were all traded in, at 2 different times, real close to each other, but at 2 different auto dealers. But I don't know, I think the 2 Road Kings were traded in at once, and then the Fat Boy and the Lowrider, or whatever the hell that was traded in. Anyway, a similar thing happened, you know, back then with Gladstone Honda. So they go and they look at the bike, and, you know, it's in perfect shape, and they say, all right, you know, what do you sell it for? You know, we weren't associated with Gladstone Honda at all. They're just right down the road from us, but from Portland Honda, off of McLaughlin Boulevard in southeast Portland. But anyway, so they go down and look at it, go, okay, we'll take it, you know. And they go, well, here's the deal. He goes, you can only take that if you take these 3 motorcycles as well. And they go, oh, geez, you know, we're not interested in that. He goes, no, we're not charging you anything. You can have them. We just want you to take them. That's the deal. If you take the Nighthawk, you have to take these 3 other bikes. Well, there was a 1975 RD250 Yamaha, white with red stripes, absolutely like brand new. It had like 200 something miles on it, and a 73 CL350, and I think it had like 800 or 900 miles on it. I don't remember for sure on that one. And then there was I want to say a 72 or 73 Norton Commando. So Kenny Dreer, the service manager, took the Norton, which just absolutely looked like the biggest pile of junk. I mean, this thing should be in a junkyard. And I'm going, what are you doing with that? And he goes, well, you won't believe what this thing will look like when I'm done with it. Yeah, okay, whatever. But anyway, I took the Honda and the Yamaha, and because there was no cost, they had to put something in the books. So they put $25 on each one. So I paid $50 for 2 motorcycles. That little RD was absolutely like it rolled off the showroom floor. What a cool bike. And the CL350, I rode that thing back and forth to work after Portland Honda closed. I had to drive out to St. John's, and that was, even though you're still in the same city, you had to go through the heart of the city. Not a cool ride. Not a cool ride at all. That took forever just to go across town. Just because you're going right through the heart of it, and there's really no way of avoiding the crazy traffic of downtown Portland. And actually, that CL350 in 1992 is what I got rear-ended on by the drunk, uninsured driver. And still to this day, I can't run. If I run, it's like somebody for about a week, it's like somebody stuck an ice pick in my lower back. And I didn't have, I don't know if it was even a thing back then, but I didn't have uninsured protection, and I was just screwed. But anyway, that's water under the bridge. But we're talking about diesel on the road. So I'm riding my little RD home, excuse me, one day, and there was this, I'm sure you guys have heard of Reed College. That's where Steve Jobs went to college. It's there in over in the southeast side of Portland. But it was a beautiful scenic ride. Boy, you're talking about some beautiful fall colors. I mean, this place just looks like something out of a dream world. And that old college is just so beautiful sitting there. But anyway, there was as you're heading towards Reed College, and the road kind of winds off, you take a left and you go up the hill past Reed College and you head towards my house. I lived, as a crow flies, probably a mile from Reed's College. But anyway, there's another route you could take that halfway between Foster Road and where you turned off to go past Reed College, there's this crazy hill. I mean, just go straight, and it's probably about 3 blocks long, but just steep as holy hell. I mean, this would make San Francisco proud, you know, some of the streets they have there. So I'm riding the old RD home from work one day, and I decided to, from Portland Honda to where I lived off of Southeast Holgate, or no, I was living on Knapp Street back then, Southeast Knapp Street, corner of Knapp and 82nd. I go bombing up that road because it's fun, and I thought, you know, I wonder how this little old, you know, no torque 2-stroke will handle this hill. So I get about halfway up the hill, and I mean, we're talking just a crazy steep hill. So I get halfway up this hill, and I smell it. I smell the diesel, and the road was kind of damp like what I was on back there. It wasn't soaking wet, but it was just damp. And as soon as I smell it, I see it, and it looks like it's over the entire road. I have no idea how this got spilt on there, but all of a sudden I hit it, and I'm like getting no traction, and the road is kind of, you know, arched, you know, for water runoff because it rains like crazy around here. But anyway, I'm sliding off and slowly, don't hit them tires there, school bus, thank you very much. So I slowly slide, and you know how they build the little cement curves where there's like a foot of cement for the water to run down on the edge, then the curve goes up, and then there's people's yard. So they end up in this curve, and I'm like, dear God, what am I going to do? You know, I can't go up. I can't hardly even stand on this thing. It's so bad. So I slowly back myself down and back into a person's driveway. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, halfway down, the diesel's gone, you know, is the twisted logic I had going through my head. Now, you got to remember, the road at the bottom is that main road that goes between, you know, I said Foster, it's actually Holgate. Goes between Holgate, and I forget what the road is that goes past Reed College, but it tees, and then there's a huge fence and a bunch of storage facilities on the other end of that. But there's cars always going back and forth. So in my little demented mind, I thought, I can handle getting back to the halfway point where there's no diesel. Well, guess happens when you ride through diesel. It gets on your tires. So I ding, and I pull out and woof, head down the hill, take a left and go rolling back down the hill. Oh my God. I looked like I had outriggers on this thing. I had my feet planted and that old bike is going every which way. Oh my Lord, how I didn't crash is beyond me. But what was worse is I'm coming down the hill and I'm gaining speed as I'm coming down the hill. Skidding and sliding and carrying on. And all I see is cars crossing back and forth. I'm thinking, you're a dead man. And even if somehow or another you shoot across this road and miss the cars, you're going to hit that huge chain link fence and it's going to look like you just shot right through a cheese grater. So I'm thinking, this is it. You know that there's nothing worse than when something like that happens and you have plenty of time to think about it. It's not like this all just happened in a flash. I'm skidding all the way down this hill. So I had all the way down this hill, or halfway of it, or half of it anyway, to think about my demise at the end of this thing, I don't know how, no idea how, but I somehow got that damn RD stopped, literally right at the stop sign white line that they put on the road. Got that sucker stopped. Now, I talk about, scaring yourself every day or doing something that scares you every day. That was enough for, several weeks worth of scares. So, lesson being learned, I decided to do this in our Honda Civic one day. And it was icy out. And I don't know, you guys had them little small old Honda. This was it was an 87 Civic sedan, excuse me, the EX or whatever. It was the one that came with all the bells and whistles or whatever. I think they had a LX and there was like an HX, LX, or an EX. They had like 3 different tiers or whatever, packages or whatever. But anyway, it was Kelly and I together, and those little cars just were like a billy goat. It was crazy where you could go in ice and stuff. These things just will go anywhere. Well, it was more of a sheet of ice than I thought, but I made it almost to the top when all hell broke loose. And the old front wheels are spinning. I'm going every which way. So I finally, realized I'm not going to make it. So I hit the brakes, all 4 wheels, shoo, back down that hill. We're spinning and twirling and spinning and twirling all the way down, the same thing somehow or another. And I have no idea. It's just one of those, like, how did that happen? I got, what the hell are you doing, guy? Where did he think he was going to go? You see the surprised look on his face? I think that sumbitch had his face buried in his phablet there, talking to his sweetheart or something. Idiot. I don't think he even seen that truck in front of her, the little Honda, what was that? Ridgeline Pilot? It was a Honda something. But anyway. But it's amazing how stuff like that works out. And in the end, you're just like, there's no way that just happened. Not the fact that you slid down the hill, but somehow or another you stopped the impossible to stop. That guy must have been traveling for a while. He's hunkered in like he's plumb frozen. Shit, it's 64 degrees out here. It was 58 when I left, so you can see I'm not wearing my TPG today. Actually, I have the TPG inner liner, which is also a destination liner. And then I have that Columbia sportswear thing on top of it, so it's kind of overkill. Actually, I'm a little bit warm. But what I'm glad is the fog has risen. It hasn't gone away, but it's risen. Man, but anyway, let's conclude this thing, because it's I'll talk you all the way into Vancouver if I don't watch myself, which I'm very famous for doing on this thing. All right, we'll see you guys. Thank you very much. Don't know why you guys watch, but I really appreciate it. I really and I love that you guys watch them. So hopefully it's a win-win.